Cyrus Jirongo was a man who lived large, loved good things, and did all the good things to, live a life to the fullest, which he did. Until his demise on the 13th of December 2025, Cyrus was a friend of us here at the Alfa house. We did many interviews with him, and he enjoyed sharing political stories of the old generation. And the reason was because we are a young generation, so we really wanted someone who understands what happened, the history of Kenyan politics. And so he offered himself to be coming and sharing with us oftentimes. And I'm sure you've watched a lot of his interviews here. If you've not, you can check out the links to the many interviews he shared here. So we are really saddened to learn that he's departed this world, but we appreciate the time and resources he shared with us, especially on understanding Kenya and why certain things are the way they are on the political space today. So we send our condolences to the family, and what we've done for this, we've compiled several videos, interesting aspects of his interviews that you can watch on this episode. And also maybe share your comments on the comment section and tell us what you think about the different aspects, because he had a vision for Kenya. He had a Kenya he imagined would be futuristic, and he was very optimistic that he was going to be involved in the political space come 2027. However, he has not. He's left us before he could, we could experience that. But we appreciate the time and knowledge shared here.
The media paints Jirongo as Jirongo is just Moi's crony.
Yeah.
And those are people who believed in easy things. Yeah. Jirongo has no mind of his own. Yeah. Jirongo was just lucky to be with Moi, to be given money. Then you wonder, this Funa has survived all through. You wonder, this Jirongo finished with Moi in 92 and in 93. He was being fought from morning up to evening. What is this that Jirongo was correcting in the Moi regime, that really those people who are around Moi came for his neck? These are issues.
But you also don't talk about it. You see, at the end of the day, you have a responsibility to set the record straight. I mean, Cyrus, because the perception that people have about you, it did not just come out of nothing. I told you, you are one of the most famous people in the 90s. I mean, and you are associated with the money. You have never told us where you used to get that money. You should tell us.
No, I got it from Azina Estate. I got it from Saika Estate.
But you can't,
I got it from Kemri Estate.
Let me ask you, you can't build
tangible things you can see.
You can't build Azina Estate and come and distribute money in the villages. What for? For the election of Moi? No. This money that Moi used to give you guys, I'll go and do happy. I've told you, I also got 500 shillings.
Now, these are
at
issues.
the Kanu office. So if you address
let me explain to you. These are issues.
Address them.
These are issues which most people will never understand.
Yeah.
That there are times I'll go to the media to deny a statement. And when you follow that statement, it was difficult for you to discover where the statement came from. But finally, we discovered that there are statements that will be done by the then in State House by those people, NSIS, and is faxed from State House. They'll even say, Jirongo said this against the chairman of the Electoral Commission, and you have no idea. Really, basically,
there is that manipulation.
There is that. But when you ask about money and where the money that was being distributed came from,
yes,
this is a very obvious thing. And I don't know why Kenyans...
What do you mean by obvious?
It is so obvious. Somebody comes up with a scheme. He says, I'll buy gold and you export, and then central bank gives him 30%. What really brought the ruin of the Kenyan economy at that time? Obviously, 58 billion shillings being paid out for nothing to somebody exporting paper is a lot of money to get out of a system.
I know.
Given the value.
I know, but
of what 58...
Are you saying the money that I received was golden bag money?
Obviously, it was golden bag money.
You are not printing money.
Now, if the only people who can print money is the government.
Because now, Moi and the government, Moi was the government. And that money was coming from a Kanu office. It was not from a bank.
Remember this, Even a bank existed called Exchange Bank. Purposely put up, right?
Yeah.
To under pretense that we are looking for dollars. And the money is being given by central bank to these people and adding them 33%, import compensation, all that. That is the money that was being distributed.
Okay.
And that is part of the war I had.
So why did they attach your name personally, your name to the 500 shilling note?
Thank God I'm alive. I can still talk.
Yes.
I even was under attack, if you remember, the time they opened the fire on me in Westlands.
Yes.
They really tried hard to look for a scapegoat. That scapegoat was meant to be YK92, a team that Jirongo led. They tried and tried and tried, including elimination, so that they can find where to put the blame. All through, we have gone through cases of Goldenberg. I don't appear. But you'll find names there that were handling all that money. Even if we have what power, assuming the money was being printed and given to Jirongo, Jirongo would not have distributed that money. Actually, if you ask me what was spent, I have no idea. You will find the people driving cars, and you're supposed to be working with those people. When you ask him, where did you find this car? I was given by Joshua Kulei. But as far as they are concerned,
so you're saying
as everybody's concerned, Jirongo knows where that money came from. Jirongo knows how these boys did this. This was an amorphous thing, and if you understand how the government operates, YK was operated by the intelligence of the country. YK was operated by State House. YK...
So you are just figureheads.
You are there thinking you are leading people, but you have people... If you remember, there was even a coup in YK92, led by Sam Nyamweya and a few other people, to kick me out because I'm not towing the line. So there is a wrong perception about individuals without interrogation. When this matter is interrogated in detail, and when I put pen to paper and tell Kenyans...
You are writing a book?
I wrote it a long time ago, but I can't even release it.
Why?
Because I'll end up in... some people might just murder me. But
alive. The book is already there. You know,
it is there
you cannot
written,
kill a voice.
We cannot give it out at the moment, but it will come out at the right time. Kenyans need to understand.
Are you still afraid of that there are still elements within the power circles right now that have grudges from 92? Because those stories that you're telling
that still pull strings in this country.
Okay.
And let me tell you, Sifuna, most Kenyans don't know what their government is. They have no idea.
Yeah.
And at one time, I wondered to myself, the capacity of those elected, the competences of those elected. Do Kenyans really know what they're electing?
No.
We end up with absolute idiots in positions that you wonder, how did this person get into this position?
Yes.
There are times you would discuss with the people in leadership, and you say, this must not be done like this, like that. And if his mind opens up a bit and he understands what you are saying is a good thing, he'll tell you, don't talk about it. Keep quiet. So that he comes up as somebody who has come up with some imagination and thought and is talked about it. The problem we have as a country, anybody can rule us. That's the biggest problem we have as a country.
Yeah.
We have not interrogated the competence of Sifuna to know that if I handed over this country to Sifuna, it will move forward.
Yeah.
If I handed over this country to Sifuna, Sifuna will be after competence and not tribe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not family.
Yeah.
That remains the biggest problem in our republic.
Yeah,
and
but let me just tell you, as even as a member of parliament, this thing called government is very complex.
It is.
And I tell people that even just joining that institution of parliament, there are things that you get to learn, to see, to observe.
You get shocked.
And you are very tempted to conclude that this country cannot be helped. Because it's like there is...
I'm happy that you have the same script.
Yeah.
Same page.
There is infrastructure that ensures that anything that is going to benefit the people does not happen. Things that are so obvious to everyone that this is what makes sense, you find people doing the exact opposite. And then you ask yourself, why does this state of affairs exist? Who is supposed to benefit from this state of affairs? Because it is not the people who benefit from this state of affairs. So I understand what you're saying. By the way, it is not just Kenyans generally. You can imagine even for me, as an elected member of parliament, there are things that I believe I still do not know.
Yeah.
There are things that I know for a fact I don't understand why they are the way they are. But it is a system. It is the way things are. And you get if you just relax a bit, it's very easy for you to be co-opted into whatever system is, such that you just come to this conclusion that it is not your effort, that things were supposed to be like that. Mm-hmm. And that even if you fight and you feel like you are on your own.
The same things exist in the executive. I'll give you an example I lived. There were these rumors that toxic waste is being dumped
yes,
in Northeastern. People knew I had the courage to face the leadership that was, including the President Moi. They then used the intelligence. A friend of mine is given a document proving where the toxic waste is being dumped in Kenya. I did not think twice. The first thing I did was to get a phone call and call Mzee Moi. I want a meeting. And I took off and went to that meeting with Sam Nyamweya and the late Choge to go and explain to President Moi that I have this document proving that toxic waste is being dumped somewhere in Northeastern, pretending that we are looking for oil. When I passed over the document from President Moi, I expected him to be very excited and tell me, listen, Cyrus, I want to find out what this is. You mean my people can do such a dirty thing against Kenyans? And the reaction I got was totally different. I was asked a question. Where did you find these documents?
Yeah.
Then I said, Your Excellency, it is you who told us that we must never reveal the source of our information. So you have the powers and you have the system. I have given you a document. Investigate and find out, is it true or not true? No, you will not leave this state house unless you tell me where you found this document. And the argument went on. It was so heated that the security of the president started knocking the door, thinking that Jirongo is a madman, maybe he's fighting the president. They were opening to check what is happening because the president hit the roof. And I did not know the crime I've committed. I have come to you to tell you this thing will hurt Kenyans if it is actually happening. And today, look at this country. Assess the way cancer is finishing Kenyans. The highest rate of cancer victims starts from Embu, Nyeri, Meru, coming to Central. As you move towards Western Province, the rate of cancer is lower. Later on, when I left State House, when we were leaving,
How did you leave? Did you tell him?
No, after arguing, after so many things, when I realized I have messed up myself, is when we were leaving. And I want to tell you, nikisikia hii maneno mahali yengine, utanyoroka. Then I realized, did I go to a thief to tell a thief you're a thief?
You went to the thief.
I had never realized what I was doing. I thought I'm talking for the good of the country, yet I'm reporting
to the person doing the deed.
To people, I can't claim he was the one doing, but obviously he was aware of what was happening. Because he even offered a solution. He said, sisi tunajua, mahali mambo kama hii inafanyika ni Somalia. You know, that raised... Then when we were crossing the gate of State House, it was about 4. I had an announcement. Gaylord Avedi, who was then, who had just been appointed a permanent secretary, Minister of Energy. And the government has just started, it's so new. He has been transferred to office of the president as a PS, and the Mutitu, who used to be the PS there, has been returned. Then obviously I knew I have touched something that is going to bury me. The following day, I was arrested and went to the CID headquarters. And they only wanted one thing.
The source.
What did you disagree with the president over? And remember, When I was leaving, I was told, nikisikia hii kitu mahali yengine, utaona.
Yeah.
So I realized I'm playing with a grave here. I got to be careful. So no Arapto. Every morning, I reported at 6 o'clock. I was asked one question only. Where did you get this information? And what is this that you disagreed with the president over? And my answer was very simple. Ask the president. He told me not to discuss it with anybody else. And I said that for 2 months, reporting at CID headquarters, because I realized if I opened my mouth to explain that I went to the president with these details and that, then the president will get the same information from Noah. And it will be clear that I'm discussing what we disagreed upon with other people. And I've been warned, nitajua. Then I'll be dead meat.
Yeah.
I know you've been very passionate about the plight of Kenyans and the challenges facing Kenyans. From 1992, when you were in YK 92.
Yes.
We knew you from then. Then I was still a toddler,
Yes.
still a very young person.
Yes.
But even 500 Kenya shillings was named after you.
Me.
There is no any other person in Africa or in the world that money has been named after.
Yes.
And anytime we saw 500 shillings from adults,
Nipatie Jirongo moja.
they were saying, this is Jirongo.
Nipe moja.
First of all, how did you manage? And how were you named after?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Essentially, I'm a businessman myself. Let me begin from there. In 92, I was nominated by Moi to go to parliament. I was made a minister by Moi. I refused. That is how Moses Wetangula got nominated to parliament. I refused. I had nothing to do with politics. This is a situation which we looked at. And we looked at it. Those fellas, the opposition was coming up strongly. Moi was there. And they were all fighting. I was in the construction industry myself. I was doing work in Hazina Estate, Saika Estate, the Nyayo High Rise. I was doing my business. I was a happy man, enjoying my money. Very, very happy. So a friend of mine pushes me that you people must come and help Mzee Moi. I decided to put together a team of 23 young men, not the KANU youth who were waiting for handouts. People had their own money. Their names are known. Then in the process, we decide the only way we can deal with some of these problems that the opposition is raising is to take over this KANU ourselves. So we were also on a mission that we are on today. We intended to take over KANU. We finally managed to do so. We finally managed to put some of us into leadership, but it was a long, long, long journey. We fought hard. Bullets were fired at some of us. So what we are going through is a cycle. And that's why I'm so interested in your politics that I really requested you that let us have a chat. When you have money and you live well, and a new note is printed by Central Bank, like today, Babu Wino is the young man among us, the young people. Supposing something good was coming out of Kenya Kwanza government and you're with them, obviously, it will either be called yourself or it will be called Baba, the nicknames that we have. So that's how the note ended up being called my name. But I want to tell you, with my experience, I think I led the first youth movement in this country. And I had goodwill and a clear. The first enemies you have are the people you work with. It took me a long time to learn that. The second layer of enemies you have.
So how do you deal with them before you go to the second?
The people you have, your biggest enemy is your best friend. You've got to be very careful. Note that all they tell you is true. And as a head of state, the people around you are your worst enemies. What they tell you is to please you. They will never tell you the truth. And all of them remember this, have an appetite of sitting where Baba Owino is sitting. And they look at you as if, by the way, Baba Owino is my age mate. Why is he an MP and I'm not? There is that.
So you should not have friends?
So you should have friends, but you must be intelligent enough to understand. By the way, there was a coup in YK92, led by the young men, same young men I was leading. But of course, I quelled down the coup. But I did not use tear gas. I called people, we sat down, what is the issue? And then I found, Sam Nyamweya and others were feeling Jirongo has become too close to Moi. If we are the leaders, we will become close to Moi. Those cheap mentalities, you'll have them everywhere. And you'll find those who are going to compete with Baba Owino have no vision at all. I've been very persistent in trying to find out, why are you looking for leadership? If you really followed what I was trying to find out from you, what are you able to do? What is this passion? You have a passion. What is this passion that you want to offload to Kenyans? That I'm the great Owino, Baba Owino, who took over Kenya and became the new tigers of Africa. Because if Kenya changed it today, I can tell you we will influence Tanzania, we'll influence Uganda, and they will change. I went to Tanzania the other day. We have KCB here. They have now put up Tanzania Commercial Bank, which is a new bank. So we lead, but being a leader without knowing you are a leader, and those coming into leadership without knowing we are somebody that we are supposed to be looked at, is the problem of this country.
What is the second problem?
There's the second biggest problem you'll have is who you entrust with driving the vision that you have. Because they'll craft their own mini visions along the way. Africa is going to change. You like it, you don't like it, it is going to change. Look at the Gen Z war in this republic. And it's not just in this republic. Look at West Africa. The young soldiers who have said go to hell, and they have taken charge of their countries. Africa must change. The mentality of leadership in Kenya, the mentality of leadership in many East African countries has no place in Africa of today. I tell you that for free. And it's just a matter of time, because the young generation is fed up. A young person in Kenya has no issue with a young person in DRC. They want to live their lives. They want to enjoy their lives. They do not understand tribe. They do not understand anything else other than fair play. And if you are a leader of a country and you're not playing it fair, there's no way you're going. There's no heritage you are living. You will not perpetuate yourself or your children into anything, because their age mates who are taking over tomorrow will look at them as those who benefited from what they never sweated for. But you have a generation which does not understand those rudimentary attitudes of the age or people of the ages that have been into leadership. A Kikuyu, young Kikuyu, does not have the mentality of an older Kikuyu against the Kalenjin. And neither does the Kalenjin young person have the mentality of the older generation against the Kikuyu.
That's true.
And that's what I'm saying. When this generation is gotten rid of, although they need somebody to guide them across the board, and it should happen across Africa,
That's
then
what I'm asking,
Africa shall have its identity. We have Kenyans who mean well for this country. Number one. Number two, everybody in the opposition matters today. Why? There is a clear enemy that must be gotten rid of.
Mzigo number one.
Yes. So after that, the other issues can be settled. Hey, listen, if you were in this team because your purpose was you are denied business and that you'll do business, no. There is a new dispensation that says if you are a leader, you came to serve. you are being called honorable. And therefore, your purpose here is to serve. I was Moi's minister for about 9-10 months. I don't know how deals are done in that office. I had very serious influence.
But that's because you're not a poor man.
I had very serious influence.
Yes.
When I worked with the late President Moi, I have no single allotment. Any landed property I have, I bought. I bought. And then I said, I bought from people. Saika, I bought from people. The 1,000 acres they talk about is in exchange with the land that was taken away from me, land that I had bought. And that's why the Kenya government entered a consent. But Kenyans also will feel bad if Mwangi today said of Equity he wants to go into politics. They'll make Mwangi so dirty that at the end of the day, you'll think Mwangi is a pickpocketer. He's not. He has done business. Now that he's not coming into leadership, nobody bothers about Mwangi. But the day he says he wants to come into leadership, they'll say how he auctioned the people's things. Yet he has an idea. He has done his private business. It has thrived. People don't want to borrow that talent. We have people who just have dark hearts. They feel bad that James Mwangi of Equity has succeeded. They feel bad, Dr. Ekuru Okot, who is he to be the one giving us a constitution? Right? We have those dirty hearts. But I want to ask Kenyans, you've seen what the country is going through. You know Kenya has a lot of brilliant people who can take this country to the next level.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the person who's going to lead this country is going to come from the opposition. But when time comes, we must be so careful about who do we trust. Secondly, we must have a very clear, you see, after World War, 1948, I think, there was somebody called George Marshall. He came up with a clear Marshall Plan to revive Europe. What is the Okuro Plan to get back Kenya onto track? You must explain it to us. And the Kenyans must also understand we have very cheap minds in Kenya. Even what we have discussed today, you will see it in party constitutions. They come up with an economic thing. We will pay back this. We will do that. We will do that. They don't mean it. It's because they had Ekuru and Jirongo discuss it on YouTube.
That's true.
So they need to know. My friend Uhuru, when we met at Soita's funeral, that's the time I looked at him and I noticed he had realized he has a problem. In the same place, I had just talked. And I was being told, unajua, mimi nilijipanga, unajua siasa ni kujipanga, unakaa nyuma, ningetoa kichwa, unafikiri ningekuwa, wewe bwana, I have learned to say the truth. And just say the truth.
Yes.
You live your life peacefully. I had a bit of very good experience with what top leadership in this country is all about. I worked very closely with the late President Moi. Many Kenyans wondered that Jirongo has just been campaigning for Moi. How come elections were last year and 1993, I was in terrible trouble, fighting for my life. Governments are interesting in Africa. When you have a thief as the leader, and you innocently go to the thief and tell the thief, why is Lumumba stealing? And yet Lumumba is stealing on behalf of that leader.
Yes.
You land into a lot of trouble.
Yes.
There was an incident.
Yes.
I haven't talked about this openly before. I worked with Jim Choge. Jim Choge was a lawyer.
Yes.
But he was also a lawyer of the late Honorable Nicholas Biwott. Jim Choge came to my office and gave me documents. Those documents had details of where toxic waste was being dumped in Kenya. In my stupidity, I took those documents and went and confronted President Moi. And I told him, Mzee, I have information. The people in the Ministry of Energy, they are cheating Kenyans that they are looking for oil, but this is toxic waste that is being dumped in Northeastern and around that area. I've never been in trouble like that. Because I was asked, where did you get these documents? And if you don't say where you got these documents, it's the end of you. Where did you get these documents? So I said, Mzee, you said, we must always keep secret the source of our information.
Yes.
I have given you these documents, you're the head of state. You have the machinery to find out whether it is true or not. So for me, I'm relying on you to verify and validate these documents. Because the person with the power to do it is yourself, not my son. And he made noise, ranted for almost 30 minutes. And the noise was loud enough until his security thought we are quarreling and that I'm not respecting the president. They were opening the door to check, is this young man fighting the head of state? But then, all through, I just thought he's being unreasonable. I've given him documents, he needs to find out. But then when I was leaving, is when my head opened up, because I was told, whatever we have discussed here, if I hear it out there, utajua. So I left. Then I said, what was I doing? Did I go to talk to whoever was dumping the toxic waste, that you are dumping toxic waste here? Because that appeared to be the reason. Because the way the whole information was received was so violent. As I crossed the gates of State House, it was 4 p.m. Gaylord Davedi, who was the permanent secretary, had just been posted into the Ministry of Energy. He was quickly reshuffled. I heard it on radio. We had just been discussing. He left the office for a few minutes and came back to continue the forum. That little 2, 3, 4 minutes, he moved out. A reshuffle was done. Because it was believed Gaylord must have given me these documents. Yet I was given by Jim Choge. Then I woke up, Jim Choge having been the lawyer of the late Biwott. Biwott had given them those documents to bring to me and then go back and tell Moi we are naked. This boy knows too much about us. We must destroy him. So there is a lot of, I don't know how to call it.
But that, to me, the experience you have talks about the significance of leadership and patriotism.
Yes.
And you know, the one...
And the quality
yes.
of the people we put in office.
Absolutely.
The intent. Look at the cancer rate in the Republic of Kenya.
Yes.
And if you do that survey, it is heaviest from Meru side coming. When you go towards coast, towards Western and Nyanza, the cases are not as many because the dumping was taking place in that direction. Now, you have leadership that has the capacity to convince Kenyans that I'm looking for an office to serve you, that so and so or the other leadership you had looks at me because of ABCD. But that is not the topic. The topic is, I'm looking for an office to eat your taxes.
Yes.
We need, as Kenyans, to start understanding that sometimes I've seen a serious war between Natembea and Wetangula. Oh, you're not doing this for us, you're not doing this for us. Sometimes these people have just to be there to survive. They don't have the power to do anything. And therefore, to me, the key is to get a right president. Somebody who understands inclusivity. There is a dangerous topic which I want you to comment on, which is emerging now. When you have a head of civil service saying, I came to this function because I'm an ILOT, that you are grouping Kenyans today as Nilots in power, the reason that is being given on why Raila had to be reached. And you are saying, what message are you sending?
But I think I'm very clear. And one of the things that we must, as a country, fight against and fight vigorously is the grouping of people into ethnic cocoons.
Thank you.
This country can ill afford the misfortune of labeling people that one is in this or that office because of their ethnic background. Our ethnicity, our diversity is a resource which can be harnessed and harnessed in a powerful way. And I do not want somebody to point out that I am in this arrangement or that we are forming this political formulation because we belong to this ethnic grouping. That is the most dangerous avenue to take. That is the shortest avenue to chaos in any country, and it must be condemned and must be fought vigorously, and the tone must be consistent and unequivocal from the top. And if it is not, the top must be told in no uncertain terms that this country can ill afford. We have seen many countries right now. We see the conflict that is going on in Sudan is beginning to take those dimensions where people are being grouped into Dinka, into Darfurians, into Arabs, into Africans. That, as Nyerere used to say, katika karne ya 21, we cannot use ethnicity. He says it's those who are politically bankrupt who take refuge in identifying things from an ethnic standpoint. And such bankrupt politicians must be isolated, identified, and condemned.
Professor, it hurts. The people doing this are people who have gone to school.
It means the school did not go into them. Because you can go into school, but
school doesn't get into
nothing happened. It's just like throwing stone into a bucket of water. After a short while, it dries out, but it doesn't change. But if school has gone through you, it's like a foam, and you put it there, and you can see that this individual has had the kind of education that enables to say, Cyrus Jirongo is going to be in this position because I am convinced that he is the best person to do it, not because he comes from my village. That village mentality.
And not that he's a Bantu or he's a Nilot.
How does that?
It's so ridiculous that...
You know, Cyrus,
it doesn't make sense at all.
When you are flying in Kenya Airways, do you ever ask the tribe of the pilot? You want a competent pilot. And that the nation, the Kenyan state, and indeed any African nation is like an aeroplane. The people who are the passengers want a pilot who is going to ensure that that plane takes off, that plane lands safely, and everybody is at home. It doesn't matter, and I think, who is it who said it at one time? I think it is Deng Xiaoping in China, when they were moving into what has now made China the great economic power that it is, that we know that we have rats which we want to catch. To us, it does not matter whether the cat is white or black. What we want is a cat that catches rats. And that is what we want in this country.
And you see, the most ridiculous thing is that this is something that has been there before, when we had these stories of Kamatusa.
Yes.
When we had Biwott telling Mzee Odinga that we are two rivers.
Yes.
As Nilots, we have to meet somewhere. That game failed. And you remember, that is one of my troubles, because when they talked about Nilotic Alliance, I came up and said, no, and then we form a Bantu Alliance. Just look as stupid as they were.
And then where do you get?
Where do you get?
When you begin to form alliances of this kind, which are not based on ideas. I want to form an alliance with you because we have ideas on how to run the economy.
Yes.
We have ideas on how to run our education system. We have an idea of how to deal with the health system. We have an idea of how to have a taxation regime.
And that we are clear that every Kenyan must inclusively participate in the development of his country.
Without doubt.
We have a variety of dynamics that will change this country. First of all, is to paint a clear vision of where we want to go, as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, to realize the vices that have held us back. Tribalism instead of competence. Then also, ask Kenyans, they have a role to play.
Yeah.
The quality of leadership they elect.
Yeah.
And thirdly, leadership, when we talk about the quality of leadership that we elect,
Yes.
are we Africans? Are we pushing an African agenda? Or are we slaves of other nations?
Yeah.
In my view, if we paint a correct picture
Yeah.
and get the right leadership and not tribe,
Yeah.
and that leadership understands. Kibaki failed when he then now became a Kikuyu. Initially, he was not a Kikuyu.
Yeah.
When he was working with Mike, he was not a Kikuyu. But when now the really Kikuyu came into play as the main advisors,
Yeah.
then Kibaki started going down.
Yeah.
And that's why you sang Kibaki very loudly
Yes.
when he was not a Kikuyu. By the
Yes.
time he became a Kikuyu,
tukakosana.
mkakosana.
Yeah.
Those will be my sincere views.
That is the correct position. Now, for me, first of all, let me just say I don't envy you in this attempt to, there is a mental block that I don't know who put it there. But then immediately your name is said. There is a perception that I don't think, even if you took 10 years to explain yourself, I think the way people view and perceive you is not going to change. And the problem with that situation is that there's actually some things that we can learn from your experiences then, and some pointers of, proper warnings about the sort of people who should be able to go into power, should be allowed around power. But because it is Jirongo saying it, you will of course be immediately dismissed and said, huyo ni Kanu Hawk, anajaribu hapa kuja kujitetea. So I don't envy you from that particular perspective.
Yes.
But genuinely, you have a responsibility to always speak out and explain to Kenyans that these luxuries that we enjoy right now, it's very easy for them to be taken
Of course,
away.
yeah, they can be
you
taken
can
away.
imagine, and I'm sure you will have a conversation with my friend Okio Mtata at some point. We are back to the era where a president can directly threaten you as an individual because you have exercised a right that is constitutional.
As Alfa House, we were privileged to work with Cyrus on different projects and on different, spaces, especially where he came and shared these stories that have been happening in this country and the vision that he felt Kenya would be moving along. We hope you have enjoyed this. You can watch more of his interviews on this channel. We have more. And to the family, we are sending our condolences. Thank you for sharing him with the country, and hopefully we will see him one day when we all cross, because that's the journey that everyone takes. See you on the other side, resting in eternal peace.
Museveni found it fit or saw it fit to ban me from going to Uganda. A letter was written to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
You're banned
in
from
Kenya.
going to Uganda.
He banned me from going to Uganda.